Yeah, so it's been more than a few minutes, and I'm recording the next part of this. And I was just thinking the other day, we're watching the television show on Fox called Lucifer. That it's kind of odd that Amendenadal, Lucifer's brother on the show, calls him Lucy. And then if we go over to Z Nation, Murphy's little zombie daughter is named Lucy. And then there was that Scarlett Johansson movie just a little bit ago about transcendence of humanity and the character's name, and that was also Lucy. Now, then we can go back a little bit. There was another cartoon show on one of those Adult Swim things, in The Devil's Daughter, and she was named Lucy Fur or something like that. And also, let's see, what was I thinking here? Then there was the at Dr. Leakey over in Africa had dug up these bones of some type of hominid and named that Lucy. And then we can go back to early television, and we have the I Love Lucy show, Lucille Ball show. Well, that's a little bit different, and Here's Lucy and all that. So it's like all these things with Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. Now, I'm not saying that it was all coordinated together. It's just a coincidence of it all is like a little strange, and especially now with the Z Nation having the little zombie girl named Lucy, and on the Fox show Lucifer, his brother, the angel Amendemadal, calling him Lucy all the time. And I can't really see what the point of having Amendemadal call him Lucy is. I mean, I think they're just trying to be like a little bit cute. And I do realize that this was a show that came from Vertigo Comics, so yeah, it's just sometimes I like to look at these little coincidences that we find in the world and media and different things, and play little games in my head with them. And well, now I'm putting them out for you guys to play little games in your head with them. I'm sure that some people will draw some very extreme and dire conclusions from all this, but I'm really not putting that much into it, other than, maybe we are on some kind of, matrix, video game or whatever, and, maybe that's some kind of code or something you have to follow to crack this game and hack this game and win this game or whatever. Well, I'm going to take another little break now, and hopefully it won't take me 2 or 3 days to finish it. But anyway, there we go. There's my little thoughts for this little segment. Yeah, so I left off, was talking about the name Lucy and different TV shows and stuff. And I forgot one that is probably like really, really important. It's the lead character in the show, NBC show Timeless. Her name is Lucy as well. And now this show is about time travel and the effects of time travel, where like little things get out of place or big things get out of place. In this case, her sister just seemed to up and disappear, which came back from a time traveling event. I'm sure that some of you have probably heard about a thing called the Mandela Effect. And the idea that this Mandela Effect may be being caused by the efforts of the folks at CERN, the Super Hadron Collider, and that little things are just getting out of place because of this. Like that, some people believe that Nelson Mandela died in prison and didn't become the president of South Africa after his release and the fall of apartheid and such like that. Now, um, the thing is, that one is something that I never experienced that feeling myself, but a lot of the other things that are being mentioned in the aftermath of this Mandela effect are things that I do um, share a similar experience or belief in. One being the Luke, I am your father, or versus Luke, or no, I am your father. Now, I've watched that film, I don't know how many times. I was hanging out with a girl who loved that movie and watched it about every day, so was well aware of the quote, Luke, I am your father, and nobody can convince me otherwise that it was ever, no, I am your father. Another one is in the book of Isaiah, and the lion shall lay down with the lamb. Now, um, when I was very young, I would say 5, 6 years old, at a Christmas pageant for our small little church in the town of Lum, Michigan, that particular piece from their verse from the Bible was my piece for that play. Now that day, my cat went missing, and I was very distraught. And I had to get up and say this piece about the lion laying down with the lamb. And I couldn't say it. I broke down crying and stuff. And partly it was because a lion reminded me of a cat. And so I started thinking about my cat, of course, when I started saying lion and stuff like that. And this was a story that was told over and over again throughout my childhood and even into my adulthood by my parents and my family and such. So nobody can convince me that it was always in the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. It doesn't even make sense to the whole theology of Isaiah and stuff like that, and the Lion of Judah and all these different things with that. And there's like a lot of other things in this Mandela effect. Now, some people are saying that um, the Lord's Prayer has been made different. Now, growing up, I remember both of the versions in question, both the one concerning trespassers and debtors, and so that one is not a big deal to me because um, I remember growing up hearing both versions of that. Um, there just seems to be a lot of like other little anomalous things throughout the world, entertainment industry, little things here and there, even spellings of words and stuff seem to be a little bit different than they were before. this whole Mandela Effect thing came into being. Now, the strangest ones, like the six-seated car with the JFK assassination. I mean, JFK assassination was one of my first memories, and so I done a lot of research into that throughout my entire life, and I never remember a six-seated car, nor do I remember anybody saying anything about Jackie Kennedy shooting President Kennedy, which is this weird conspiracy theory that all of a sudden came about and is being credited to the Mandela Effect. Now, you know, these are like bizarre little things that can be big things, but you know, I mean, I feel kind of really linked to the JFK assassination anyway, in really bizarre ways, since my name, Mark Gordon, means warlike grassy knoll, and then my first memory was in fact, the JFK assassination. So that I find that kind of weird, and it often these little things like this often get me thinking we're in some kind of Sims type reality. I mean that, and and this Mandela effect is like only one of them. On a personal level, I've been recently diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, which is Graves' muscle disease, and it's autoimmune disease where the acetylcholine receptors between the nerves and the muscles get blocked and make it hard for me to move my muscles. And without medication or treatment, so I've been going through a lot of treatment in this recently. Now, I also am wearing an eye patch, so if I ever do get this podcast onto video, and being well aware it's not a Illuminati reference or anything like that, with a one eye of Horus or Odin or whatever, it's because my vision is double vision because of this myasthenia gravis I'm going through. Now, when we were talking to the neurologist about this and asking a question, it's something that is caused by something I do or don't do as far as physically or eating or exercise or whatever. And she said no, that they basically don't know what it comes about from. It just comes about, and it can go away just like that, or it can stay forever and need treatment forever, or you can have surgery and take it out of the thymus gland, and sometimes that helps, but sometimes it doesn't. So, like, when you're faced with problems like this, where they just come about and it's because of nothing you've done, it sort of gets you in a mental state where you're thinking, oh my God, are we living in some kind of Sims reality? And it's like, okay, who's ever controlling the game is just, oh, here you go, you're going to have this, and you're going to have that, and, this person's going to have a really good life, and this person's going to have a really shit life, and this person's going to get sick, and this person's going to be really healthy and well. And, you can't help but think in these things. especially in light of all these video games out there like that, and the proliferation of things like The Sims, and the proliferation of storylines in movies and television shows and whatnot, talking about these things, and um, top scientists and computer engineers and tech companies are, you know, spending billions of dollars to find out whether we are living in a computer simulation or not. And sometimes my mind drifts off into that. And I used to like living in the city, but now I'm preferring to live in the country because it keeps me more out of those modes of thinking which aren't too healthy for me at the moment. Um, I you know I'm actually beginning to be a lot more agoraphobic, and not be like wanting to be around a lot of people physically as much as I used to be. And it's just more so because it gets to be such a hassle. Like, there's some days when I don't mind people coming up to me and saying, "Oh my God, a pirate," or whatever, like little kids. But there's just like some days I get tired of it. And, yeah, I got an iPad, John, fine. And then other days I'll play around and play it up. But sometimes you just get tired of it. Especially on a day when my muscles just aren't not wanting to work at all. And that brings me to another point. The other night I watched the Golden Globe Awards, and I really do get that, like a lot of these actresses and actors, or just actors, is a proper word for them, are like really afraid for the country and the world because their person didn't win. And they are afraid what's going to happen to their lifestyle because the general public is just getting tired of their bullshit and, their self-aggrandizement, you know, getting awards for doing something that, quite frankly, a lot of us would love to do for free if we could, or, make a living doing that. I mean, I was a member of the Thespian Society in high school, and every single one of us wanted to do that as a career. We loved it. And a lot of them, they're still doing these things for free. And get tired of seeing these whiny ass actors, from Hollywood, just like bitching about this and bitching about that, and how they're so vilified and so, um, when they're wearing, you know, $1,000+ dresses and jewels and drinking Moet champagne and eating filet mignon and lobster and all these things like this, and arriving in limos and having $6 and $7 million plus houses. I mean, we have Leo DiCaprio talking about global warming and how bad it is, and how we need carbon taxes and all these things like this. And yet, this guy flies from Australia to Las Vegas on a private jet so he can celebrate New Year's Eve twice. I mean, can you tell me seriously that somebody who actually believes that the world is in such danger because of carbon emissions is going to do that? I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I mean, to me, it's like the guy knows that he's just acting a part. He's getting compensated from some people up above that want to sell this scam to the world about carbon taxes and and take taxes from like the lower down people, whether it be the lower 1% or the middle class or whatever, and redistribute that wealth to the 0.000000001%, and the banksters and Rothschilds and Maurice Bloody Strong, as David Icke would call him, and the Rockefellers and all those people. And where is this money for these carbon taxes going for? What exactly? Who is benefiting from this? I mean, we have an acreage. We plant trees and stuff like that. You know, probably have less of a carbon footprint than any of these people do. But I don't even believe that carbon is a bad thing. It's a building block of life. As a matter of fact, the more carbon in the atmosphere, the better the plants grow. If they really wanted to do something about it, grow more hemp, grow more cannabis, you know, and start making paper again from hemp. It's a better quality paper. It lasts forever. A lot longer than the crap paper that's made from wood pulp. Save the trees. Mm, Use a renewable way of making toilet paper and book paper and whatever. And, and make hemp oil and stuff like that for for your gasoline and things like that. I mean, it only makes sense. But instead, the cure is putting a carbon tax that's this indefinable carbon tax that people, we don't really know if it's going to the proper channels and who's benefiting from it. I mean, from all I've seen, the people who are benefiting from it are a bunch of rich jerks that are the ones doing the flipping polluting in the first place. Anyway, I'm getting a bit tired now, and hopefully the next time I will be able to get this podcast out and together a little bit quicker than than this one, where it took me over a month to do all the segments of it. And hopefully soon I'll be able to start doing an actual video podcast. Any donations are more than welcome via my PayPal to get that happening, so I can get my set, which is in the basement of my house, in proper order. I have an Amazon and an eBay wish list that have different things that would be helpful for me getting this podcast going. I really need some lights and a green screen or black screen and set up. Well, I have them on my Amazon wish list. So if anybody has extra $100 that they can spare to help me get that, it would be really appreciated. Any books or anything that people want me to review, or music that people want me to review, go ahead and send it to my address, and I will include links to it in my podcast, or play some music or talk about a book or whatever like that. And anyway, as always, love you all. Have a great day, and together we can beat this monster that wants to take over the world. We can have a beautiful, beautiful world. Thank you.